UFC Fight Night Magny versus Prates is coming up next weekend, and today, guys, I have the complete betting guide for you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, we're going to be going through the channel betting recap for last week, confident picks, underdog opportunities, fights that I do not believe you should be betting on, and then we're going to close the video off with a fun part of the video, that being looking for some props and some fun parlays. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Timestamps will be there if you'd like to skip to any part. Like I said, let's get started. Now, guys, for the betting recap, if you are either a member of the channel or if you have been watching, I did something very, very different this time around. Typically, I like to bet as safely as I possibly can, but I'm doing a little bit of a test to see how I'm working with some longer parlays and hitting a couple underdog opportunities. So, like I said in this post, I literally bet every single bet using $2 because with this sport of MMA that we bet on, something is bound to go wrong, and that's why I typically stay away from parlays. But the first week that we've done it, and I'm going to continue this for a month or so, maybe a month and a half, so far so good, man. So far so good. Of course, we had the Shore versus Zalal over 1.5 rounds that hit tough, and I was very disappointed in Trevin Giles, man. I legitimately thought that he was going to win that fight, mostly because I wasn't convinced that Mike Malott was at a contender level, but Trevin Giles just completely disappointed. But for the most part, guys, like, it was working out very well. Of course, just using $2, there was really no profit at all, but hey, things are looking good. So I'm going to roll with this type of style, and I'm still going to keep the spending very, very little because we did have one good week. Who knows how it's going to be moving forward. And guys, if you would like to see where I'm putting my money where my mouth is when it comes to these bets, because of course, I talk a lot about betting on the channel. You can check out the channel membership, very cheap compared to other channels, in the pinned comment description down below or right next to the subscribe button. Also, a tool that we will be using, OddsJam. You can find their link down there if you'd like to check them out. You can use a discount using code CLEN with the pinned comment description down below using that link. Again, guys, with that being said, though, let's continue on through the video, rolling through some confident picks. And the first confident pick I have for you, I almost didn't include this because I've been burned before on this fighter, and that's going to be Damon Blackshear. This is almost going to be the last chance that I am going to take on Damon Blackshear. I really, really do think that he's going to win this fight, though. And if you guys are interested, by the way, I already have a full card breakdown out, diving into these fights as deep as I could possibly get. So these videos are kind of like a little bit more quicker pace when it comes to that. But I think that Damon Blackshear should shine against Cody Stamann. Cody Stamann's a fantastic fighter in himself, but I believe Damon Blackshear to be a very, very complete fighter. And you can see, I don't know what the odds are right now, but Tapology has him at the time of recording this video at minus 250. I believe he should be the better fighter here. But again, Damon Blackshear doesn't always put it together. And that's why I kind of like, I wasn't initially too sure on whether or not to include him in the confident picks, but on paper, he absolutely is a confident pick of mine. Let's continue on. The next confident pick is going to be Jillian Robertson. She's just better than Luana Pinheiro. Jillian Robertson is still improving her game. She's hit her prime. The jiu-jitsu is going to be miles ahead of Luana Pinheiro, and I just think that she's going to clear this fight. Absolutely no problem. I actually almost had her at lock of the week, to be honest with you. Now, let's continue on to another confident pick of mine that's going to be Reinier de Ridder. Now, I don't know about betting on this one. While I am confident that Reinier de Ridder is going to get the job done, when it comes to two jiu-jitsu-based fighters, I would imagine that both of them are going to hit the ground, okay? You can never completely count out Gerald Meerschaert in a grappling type affair. That's likely what's going to happen in this fight. I think that Reinier de Ridder is better on the ground, but you can never count out Gerald Meerschaert, so I'm not so sure about betting on this one. But Reinier de Ridder, at the end of the day, is a confident pick of mine. I do believe if these guys fought 10 times, he would win the vast majority of the time. Let's continue on. Miles Johns is also a confident pick of mine. I think that he's just going to chin Cody Garbrandt. I don't think that Cody Garbrandt's going to get past him. That's pretty well it. I can see him swinging. It's going to be standing up. And I think that Miles Johns is going to just knock out Cody Garbrandt. So let's continue on to the final confident pick we have, guys. And that is going to be Carlos Prates. And I used the wrong scene, but you know what? We can roll with it. But anyways, Carlos Prates is the final confident pick of mine, guys. Unfortunately, as much as I love Neil Magny is past his prime. So everybody, we are having somebody join us while we did this jump cut for the recordings over here. So might be a few more jump cuts depending on how she is. But guys, like I said, Neil Magny is unfortunately past his prime now. Carlos Prates coming out of the Fighting Nerds. I am completely confident that he will get the job done. Could you imagine, though, if he actually gets fraud checked? That would be wild if that was the case. But honestly, nothing against Carlos Prates. I like Carlos Prates, but I'm hoping that's the case because I am a big fan of Neil Magny myself. But now, guys, let's continue on over to a couple underdog opportunities I have for you. The first underdog opportunity I have for you is going to be Antonio Tricoli, excuse me. I'm just completely not convinced that Tresean Gore is going to get the job done, and I've seen odds where, honestly, he's been looking better. I think it's a fairly close fight. I'm definitely not going to be betting on it, but I think that for the value, Antonio Tricoli is definitely somebody that you could be taking a look at. And the next underdog opportunity I have for you guys is going to be Claudia Segula. Now, just kind of like the same thing I was talking about with Tresean Gore, I'm just not convinced of Melissa Mullins, man. This is a fairly close fight. I could see this fight going either way, but if you're looking for underdog, if you're looking to put money like on some sort of underdog, I think those two fights, to be honest with you, is kind of where you should be looking. Now, there are a couple fights that I also don't believe you should be betting on at all, and let's roll through those over here. The first one's going to be Mansour Abdul Malik against Dusko Todorovic. I'm just not convinced of Malik yet. I need to see more of him, and for that reason, I'm probably going to stay away from this, and I think that, honestly, you guys should too. I could see that one being a little bit of a parlay buster. Continuing on, the next one I do not believe you should be betting on is Nicholas Dalby versus Elizeu Zaleski. If you're thinking about Elizeu Zaleski, how many times has Nicholas Dalby, how many times do we need to keep counting this guy out before we say, okay, his age doesn't matter. He's going to have like a Glover Teixeira type career. Both guys are great. I cannot wait to see this fight, and I could see this fight going either way. For that reason, I'm personally staying away from that. Now, guys, let's continue on over to Lock of the Week. The fighter on the card that I believe has the best chance of winning out of them all is going to be Denise Gomez. Now, I hope I'm wrong because I like Karolina Kowalkiewicz, but Denise Gomez, 24 years old, improving every single time that we see her. She's hanging with strikers. Her striking's only getting better. She has the ground game to explore against Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and I am very confident that she gets the job done. As much as it's going to hurt me a little bit, I am going to very, very likely be betting on this fight. And sorry, I'm not sure if she ended up coming through the microphone at all, guys. I have to watch it right now, and I need to get this betting guide done because I'm already a day late for this. Now, guys, let's continue on over to the more fun part of the video that's looking for some props and any parlays that we can come up with. So let's take a look over at OddsJam here to see what kind of props we have up right now. And we have quite a few over here. She's yanking on my microphone. Sorry, excuse my wire. You can't touch that, Missy. You cannot touch that. Okay. So we have Damon Blackshear over 2.5. I'm not big on 2.5s, guys, unless I'm like insanely confident in the fight. I like 1.5s. Tresean Gore and Antonio Tricoli has plus money for over 2.5. I don't like that myself. Charles Radke and Matthew Semmelsberger, all over 2.5 is actually good value for that. But what else do we have over here? Reiner de Riddler, Gerald Meerschaert, mine is money for over 1.5. That I can see. But then again, I could also see a submission for that one. Jillian Robertson and Luana Pinheiro over 2.5. That's plus money, but that's just assuming Jillian Robertson doesn't submit her, to be honest with you. What else do we have going on over here? Carlos Prates, Neil Magny over 1.5 minus 142. That I actually do like. I do like that one. Neil Magny's a survivor, man. Denise Gomez, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, I don't like that. Over 2.5 minus 250, excuse me. Miles Johns, Cody Garbrandt, minus 140. That one I don't like either. Not a lot in the prop area that I really like. Over 2.5 minus 400 for Dalby and Zaleski dos Santos. That one's crazy if you had that one. The value for that one, no thank you. Now let's see what we can make for some props, guys. Again, more of the fun part of the video. I had to bring her up here. She wants my pop filter over here, guys. She wants my pop filter. Let's continue on over to Betway, guys. As you might know, I recently switched over to Bet365, and it's so much better. Betway's so late to everything, man. It's incredible. So let's see what we can have going on over here. My sister and I, every single week, put 10 cents on every single underdog to see, because sometimes we get some absolutely ridiculous numbers over here, and especially with that Neil Magny one, let's see what we get. 0.10, $31,000 if every single underdog ends up winning for your 10 cents. That's crazy to me, but let's see like what we can put together, because I could very well see there being a little bit of value depending on what we end up doing. Like if we want to put in like just a few confident picks like Blackshear, even if you want to add Radke to that, I don't hate that, to be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about that. If you want to add Jillian Robertson, Reiner de Riddler, Denise Gomez, Carlos Prates, all of that together is about 6 times your money. If you want to take away Damon Blackshear and Radke, this I don't hate, actually, for just about 3 times your money, but realistically, yeah, like Carlos Prates isn't really helping you at all. But even if you want to add a couple props, like the girl fights to go over 1.5, there's ways that you can fit things in. There's ways that you could work out for you. But again, to dive a little bit more deep into that, we would definitely need to get to the props. Sorry, this video was a little bit of a mess. I'm changed now. I had to end up recording that later on, man. Like, it's late at night now. I unfortunately couldn't do anything. I wanted to get this video out. I'm already late, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Check out this video on screen if you wanted me to dive deeper into these fights. Take care.